Hey everybody and welcome! This time I've got Brave Troop Toys 2 Commander, their take on a Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. And don't know much about this company. Think they might be like BMB using Toy World's design. I have no idea. But either way, so artwork on the box. It's a very, very big box. Bigger than my area. So you got that. Shows off his weapons here, which we will see in a minute. Same artwork on the back, nothing special. Just got his name there, and then nothing on the bottom. So that is the box, and here he is. That's a big, big box. Let me get him straightened out here. There we go. So there he is, and he is a big bot, and he looks pretty good. Not going to say he's the most accurate to the design, but he does look pretty good. And of course, he does have his flaws. He's not perfect, but I think he does the job pretty nicely. So before we get a good look at him, he's got accessories, a lot, and they're all weapons. So you get his blaster, which is fully done in a gunmetal gray, and also, yeah, he seems to be 100% painted, from what I can tell. But he's got his blaster. The handle moves a little bit if you need it. That's the only thing that this has, other than right here, a light up LED function. Pretty cool. You know, unnecessary, but you know, it's pretty cool that they do that. He does have the traditional tab and slot connection. So let me lift his arm up a little. Open his fingers. You just stick that right in there as you would for just about anything else. Okay, there we go. There we go. It's a good tight fit. You can see he holds it fine. But then you wrap his fingers around. There we go. And you can see the elbow does support the little bit of a weight of that as well. It is a plastic gun, so the gun does not have die-cast in it. But there you go. Then we have two battle axes, all painted silver, orange, and that like gunmetal gray with a little bit of like stress marks and everything, like silver brushes as if it's a weapon that's been used. And he's got two tabs on that. So you can hold it a little bit closer or a little bit farther away from the blade. There we go. And, you know, same thing. It does wrap around just fine. So those are his two axes. Then we also get two swords. Same color scheme. Look really, really nice. Pretty good detail on them. It's the same kind of detail that we have on the other stuff for this gunmetal gray. It looks pretty good. This one has one tab on the handle. I mean, it's on both sides, but you know, so he'll just hold it right about there. All right. And then he's got, let's see here, get these out of the way. Then he has his arm swords, which again, really nice design, pretty similar. It is odd. They're pretty much the same thing, but this is silver and this is orange. That's a little odd, but you know, hey, it is what it is. I honestly just noticed that now. They are a left and a right, so we'll use this one just because I'm already articulating with this hand. So all you do is you'll open up this little panel, and you've got this little block. Come on, there we go. You got this block by my thumbnail, and you've got these two slots right here. That's just going to go right there. And it should tab in. There it is. The only thing is, you're supposed to be able to close this, and it just doesn't really want to. It'll get about that far, which is pretty close, but it's just not as close as it should be. And I feel weird about forcing it any more than that. But still, he holds it well and it looks good. And then you just undo it. There you go. The large tab right here does kind of tab into the front between the headlight and the bumper piece. So that's the part that is pretty close. It just doesn't fully tab in the way that I think it's supposed to. And then finally, you've got his arm cannons. You got two of them. For some reason, this piece articulates. Not 100% sure why. None of the other pieces do. And this does come off to replace the battery that's inside. Because right here, tiny little button. Look at that. Pretty cool. Now to do this, there's no instructions. So the best thing I can think is ball up the fist, kind of like that, and then I'll rotate it down, and this is how it's going to fit. This is supposed to go over here. You can see it's got this little rounded out section that's supposed to sit right here. So I just kind of stick it on the fist, and might need to maneuver the fingers a little bit, make sure those are set up right, but just kind of get it on there, cram it on. I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing it right, let's be honest. Because it never really feels good. Yeah, see, even there, it just doesn't want to go. And this is already a gripe that I have with them. The whole no instructions thing, it's fine. If the people you have do the video instructions show everything right, and nobody has shown this part right. So I'm really guessing. Just winging it, hoping that I'm doing it right. Not entirely sure. Really not a fan of this piece, the way that it's set up, the way it's designed. Okay, there we go. And that's the weird thing, right? Like, I got it on, that's how it looks. That doesn't line up with the piece that it looks like it should line up with, and on top of that, it just sits on top of his hand, so it looks so weird. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not going to be using it, and I'm still kind of experimenting and trying to see if there's a better way. I did see if maybe I could rotate the hand off, and I couldn't figure out a way to do it. Felt like I might break something. So I, stopped trying to do that. But this is still, yeah, these are a miss. These are a miss. The rest of the accessories are awesome. But with that out of the way, let's actually get a good look at this guy. Last accessory is that he does have a removable face mask, and it just kind of gently tabs in. So got these two long tabs. So there is his unmasked face, really, really dark. Let me turn on the LED light. Just push in on this button right here. Oops. Come on. There we go. There they are. Okay. I had him the first time. I didn't see him. So, nice blue eyes. They're a little dim right now. Could be my battery's going dim. He did come with batteries all fully installed, so I didn't have to worry about that part. But anyway, there's his head. Put his mask back on. Personally, I prefer the masked look for this design of Optimus. But he does look good. The blue paint, all the gunmetal. He does have a kind of a ball joint, so he can look up to there. He can look down to there. And then he can do out to 90. It does feel like it's stopped, like he can't do a full 360. And there's very, 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 very small side to side. It's almost like it's an accident, like it's not actually designed to have a side to side. There we go. Turn those off. Coming on down. Silver paint, transparent for the windshield. This wiper, it has to be glued in place. I've tried rotating it down to match this one. I cannot get it. So I think it's glued and they just glued it in the wrong way. All the red is painted, all the gunmetal gray and the silver, like everything looks fully painted. You do have a friction joint for the shoulder, but he'll do a 360. Friction for the outward, and it'll bend right up here. And it will go out to there. You do have a bicep swivel, and it is right up here. It is very stiff, and I would definitely recommend trying to hold onto the shoulder joint as you do it. A little bit of oil or something in there may help, but there's that. He does have a single jointed elbow with this little bit of movement in the forearm, so you can technically get a hair above 90 degrees. But for argument's sake, I'm just going to say that's 90 because it's really not much above. Then coming to the hands, you've got wrist rotate, you've got a little bit of an in and out, not much, and then you do have fully articulated fingers, 3 joints, 3 pins each, and the thumb is on a ball joint and 2 pins, which also means he can even give a nice little thumbs up. And the fingers do have a little bit of a splay action as well. So that's pretty cool. Not bad on the hands. Really not bad at all. Oh no! That's friction. Okay, so nothing broke, so I'm not going to edit this out. Nothing broke, but there's no screw. It's just friction. So on the one hand, hey, it's friction. That's not a big deal. I'll just put it right back on. On the other hand, though, that means that if you ever have looseness in there, I don't know what you're going to do to fix that. Oil or grease may not help. Interesting. I really thought that was a screw. Is that the same on this side? Or did I just find some misassembly on camera? Hey, this one's not coming apart. I think they might have forgotten the screw on that side. Well, I'm leaving that in because that's the whole point of these reviews is transparency, and so you can see what, if any, problems there are. That may be an issue. He also does have a butterfly joint forward. I did forget about that. I want to know now because I cannot see any way to take that apart because it's all pinned. Interesting, interesting. Well, that's it for his arms at least. So he does have a little bit of a ab crunch, and you can see it kind of covers down. But that's what he's got. It's more of an upper ab crunch, like a chest crunch. Down here, he doesn't have an ab crunch. He does have a rotate, a waist rotate. It's only about that much in each direction. So, better than nothing, but nothing amazing. Coming in here, we'll lift up on the hip flaps. 1 and 2 and 3. And the hips are kind of weird. They have a drop-down function. So you can have them all the way up to there. You can drop them down, and that you can see the channel in there. That's what allows you to do the 90-degree kick out. Now, I did a modification to my hips, all these joints and the sliders. So as a result, his legs are a little bit looser. This is me. Before I did the mod, on the one hand, his legs would stay out here and I could shake them and they would not move. They are very, very solid. On the other hand, it felt like I was going to snap everything in here. So I decided I'm never doing like a flying kick pose. I don't use stands with my characters to pose them. So I'm okay with this being a little bit looser to know that I can freely articulate this. Like I can do this and I wasn't able to do this before without feeling like it was going to break. So for me, that's a worthy trade-off, but I'm warning you about it. Your hip is probably going to be a lot tighter out of the box. But so it will hold a pose up and everything. But man, you're at risk for, you could be at risk for some stuff breaking. Anyway, continuing articulation. With the hips up, he can only come back to there, but if you do swing him down, then you can get a full 90 back. He will go all the way out. Again, use the hip slider a little bit. Let me show you from the front. Use the hip slider a little and the rotate will go all the way out. The rotate is up here. The knee is double jointed. So that's a very, very deep bend. Very nice. And no ratchets. I know these look serrated, but there's no ratchets. I've not found any ratchets on this guy anywhere at all. And then finally, for articulation, come down to here. You've got an ankle rock. You do have an ankle rotate. It is also very stiff. You just got to be careful rotating it. And then you got an up. You got a down. You know, you got this whole double joint assembly for the foot. And the foot, a lot of it's die-cast. Some of the hinge in here is die-cast. There is die-cast peppered throughout this guy. He is not mostly die-cast. He is mostly plastic. But there is a pretty good amount of die-cast. Part of the hip joints are die-cast. But there he is. And, you know, you got a lot of nice detail all over his chest and his arms. Just because I kind of glossed over that. A lot of detail on the side of his legs. Including on the inner thigh, which does have a lot of painted detail, including down here, a lot of fake truck parts. And I mean, he looks good. So far, overall, he's, you know, he looks pretty good. He looks the part. You might have noticed how I have a gap up here. There's a small tab here by my thumb that's supposed to kind of tab in here, and it just doesn't work. The upper window hits this area before it can reach this, and if I bring this out and try and do it, it just doesn't actually hold itself. It doesn't tab in. So that's as best as I can get the chest pieces. And then, oh, I untabbed something. There we go. And then there is the back. So we can get a good look at that. This is painted scuffing. So that's, I don't know why this one's clear, more newish looking blue, and this one's a little more battle damaged, but yeah, that one's just scuffing. They have that silver dry brush, like, scuffing all over his legs and everything. Pretty much nothing on the red pieces, but all over the blue and silver, yeah, they have that scuffing. Make him look a little battle worn. Alright, so there we go. He's got pretty good articulation. I'm actually pretty happy with the articulation. And he does stand well. He is stable. Let's take a look at a couple size comparisons. First and foremost, here is the Black Apple Weijing Trilogy Optimus Prime. And you can see that he is a little bit taller than Trilogy Optimus. I don't have his knees bent or anything. It's just, I just have him in a little bit of an A stance. So, there's that. Then next, okay, he lost a sword, but here's Alien Attack 02 Optimus Prime. Don't mind his hand placement, he was holding a sword. So, you can see, again, he is a little bit taller than Alien Attack. Not by an incredible amount, but still. And then for regular Carbots, here is my MPM-03, the new 40th anniversary Bumblebee. He doesn't even come up to the bottom of his crotch. That he might come up to the bottom of his crotch right in here. So that's that. And then finally, the only other bot I have from Rise of the Beast is the Brave Troop Toys Bumblebee. And that's how they go. And, yeah, I mean, he at least comes up to his crotch. So, there he is. And, of course, we'll see all of those guys in alt mode as well. But that is all I have for this guy for robot mode. Now it's time to get to transformation. Okay, so, starting with the arms. Go ahead and get the fist balled up. Thumb down here, fingers curled up. Should be something along those lines. Go ahead and open this panel. Open this panel. Rotate the fist in. And then this joint is going to rotate. and we'll just leave it like that for now. Do the same over here. Open up, fold in, rotate, and leave it something like that. We'll be playing with that quite a lot more later on. Okay, so we can kind of either do the lower half or do the upper half, and then we'll have to meet them in the middle. I'll go ahead and start with the upper. So we'll go ahead and untab this, which it already came disconnected. That's fine. But untab it from right here. Just bring it back. Straighten that out for later. I'm going to go ahead and untab this. And let's see here. Go ahead and bring these forward. I'll go ahead and fold these up now. These little silver pieces that are under the cab. They are long, flimsy, and they only have the one joint right here. So I would suggest holding them by this area to avoid putting stress on that long piece as much as possible, right? So we got to here. So let's see here. Go ahead and just trying to think of the best way, because I usually just kind of go at it. So right in here, here we go. These side pieces, go ahead and pop those out because they peg into the front bumper. Pop those out, and then you can unfold all of the front bumper related. We'll fold this down for now. Bring the head out as so. Now we'll come back here. We're going to bring this down, bring these. Come on. Here, lift up on these, and then, yep, there we go. Rotate that out. Fold these gray pieces all the way in. Notice out of the box, these were already folded all the way in. So if you take them right out of the box, that's one less thing to worry about. I'll go ahead and rotate this up. Go ahead and bring the arms out. They've got these like double joint setups. Go ahead and start to bring those out a little bit. And is what I want to do is lift up, unfold this whole bit, and then bring the entire chest back as much as I can. There we go. I'm going to fold these two pieces up. No, they only go up so far. And this part is all die cast, but then it does connect to plastic on the waist, so still want to be careful with it. But I want to get these wheels out, so that you should just be able to rotate out. Go ahead and get both of them. And then the wheels themselves also rotate. They got a little hinge in there. Go ahead and do that for both. And then you rotate the assembly. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so I know it looks weird. That's what I got so far. So I'm going to rotate the head around. Rotating the whole assembly. And I'm going to leave that there for right this second. So what I'm going to do back here, these pieces, I'm going to fold them out, fold them in, and notice this one goes first and then this one, and it tabs into each other. Okay, and I'll leave it out at like a 90-degree angle for now. Just leave it sitting back there. So is what's going to happen here. You go ahead and get this out of the way as well. Fold those together, bring them down. So we have this piece right here that's going to go into this little channel. My very first time, it was scary tight. I was actually pretty concerned about it. It seems to have kind of worked itself a little bit better as I've done this. Now it just goes in pretty smooth. But yeah, that's the point, is you want it to come all the way back, and where, let me see here. There we go. That little Phillips screw right there, you see how the bar it's on is sitting pretty much at a 90-degree angle? That is what you want, all the way back. Because this bar is pretty much the back part of the cab, so if it's leaning forward, the cab's going to lean forward. So, there we go. So we got that. Now what I'm going to do is we need to get the head into this cavity. So as you go to close all this, you want to bring the head kind of sideways, and then you can rotate it once it's in place. So I just closed up the hinge, which would act as the chest crunch, ab crunch, however it is. Okay, so see I've got this, it's just all the way down. These two hinges here are sitting flush. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to take the head, bring it down. I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to make sure that it frees that hinge that I pointed out with the Phillips. And then once it's in place, I'll rotate it so the head is facing downward, but it's in that little cavity. All right. And you could try doing it without rotating the head, but you have a very high risk of scratching the ever-loving crap out of the head. So I really do not recommend it. Turn it sideways, get it in place, and then turn it the appropriate orientation. Like, just to protect the paint, as well as so you don't scratch it and actually damage the mold. So now, one thing to note, this little bit here, you may think, oh, this silver piece can bend. It does not. The only hinge here is for this dark gray piece. The silver piece is molded in place. I mentioned that because when I tried it my first time, I'm looking at it and I'm like, it looks like it's supposed to bend. No. All right, so we're going to unfold the bumper that way first, then unfold these, and then unfold it back. So the front of it's looking like that. Then I'm going to rotate up, just because the headlights are going to tab into these. So if I have it all the way down, it's going to make it difficult to do the headlights, and I'm going to have to untab it anyway. But I will slide this up. All right, so it should be something like that. Okay, and like I said, I'll leave this up out of the way for now. I'm going to go ahead and bring the wheels together. So you have a very, very small tab right here that goes into a very, very small slot right there. So go ahead and bring these together. And that tab and slot is not incredibly secure. It does the job, but it's, these are going to tab into right here, and that's what's really going to secure the feet. The wheels. I guess those are feet for alt mode, depending on how you look at it. So we're going to start on the legs. So we're going to compress the toe pieces, just like that. We're going to compress the feet if they're not already. So this one is not. All right. Okay. So a couple different things here. I'm going to go ahead and start with the knees. Bring them forward. They've got a double joint. You bring them down and then get them slotted into this little cavity in the knee. I'll go ahead and do that for both legs now, just so I don't forget. There we go. All right, and I'm going to lay them down. So, I'll lift up on this, open that. I'm going to fold it at this hinge in the center and fold it forward. I'm going to bring the ankle down. It's got this whole double joint set up. Oh, let's see here. So do this first. So you got a double joint here. For the front of the shin, you want to slide it inward. Then I'm going to rotate the wheels around. They have this little tab that they'll stop at. They don't actually tab in, it just kind of hooks the wheels and stops it. But it's good enough. Go ahead and rotate this out. And then for the foot, I'm going to rotate it, so you do got to be careful. That hinge, the rotate hinge, is very tight for me. I feel like if I just rotated the foot, I might snap something, so that's why I hold the hinge and then rotate. Kind of get a feel for it yourself, but I would still recommend that. And then we're going to bring this all forward, fold it up inside. Once you get to this point, so make sure this is up. Now we can go ahead and close this. And this foot is done for now. We got to do this side first, and then we can join them. So we're going to do the same thing. Going to lift up on the blue piece first. Both blue pieces do have a little bit of like a double hinge. This one is really, really small. This one is a little bit longer. So use the double hinge as you need to. Bring that up. Separate this. Fold it. And bring it forward. For the shin, you pretty much just push it in. Rotate the wheels. Flip this up. For this foot, the left foot, you have this extra piece. You will want that out. And now again, with the foot, bring it down, rotate, and fold it up and in. Good. Close that. Okay. So now, we got a couple things here. So first, I do have a very small pin. You can see it right here. A very small pin coming out of the thigh. That goes into a very small hole in this panel. Those do not want to stay engaged for me, like at all. Like you could put a gun to their head if they had one, and they still would not stay engaged. So I pretty much, I don't know. Yeah, they just don't want to stay. But what does work is right here. You have this pin going into this port. That is very secure. So go ahead and get that together. And then this can just kind of fold over and stay in the center. Just use that double hinge. Okay, so it'll be like that. Then coming back here, this piece we folded out goes into a square slot right here. And as you're doing that, make sure the two trailer hitch pieces slot together. Okay, and then this has a tab right here for this slot right here. Go ahead and bring that down, and the tab can fit. But it doesn't seem to want to go all the way down. So again, it pretty much locates it, but it's not perfect. All right. Now for these, you're going to rotate them 80 degrees. So 90 degrees. Wow, 80. So the tab and slot is on the inside. The longer piece is on the inside, and then you tab those together. And then fold them down at the double hinge. All right, and there it is. They're kind of like makeshift tail lights. Yeah, that's how that looks. So now for the thighs, I want to get in here and pull this down. You might need a tool, but I'm able to at least get it from that corner. Flip out the gas tank, and this panel will go down pretty far. So, but when you get the gas tank out, you want it about perfectly 90. Okay, and then you'll fold this in. And it's got this large slot right there for a tab in the gas tank. So you want to make sure that the hips and everything are straight and lined up. Then you may need to push this forward, and then you can close it up, and it should tab right into that. And then this also secures itself. So you should end up looking like that. All right, and then same exact thing over here. Bring that out. Bring this back and get that hinge, and then close it all up. Yeah, this one isn't quite right. There it is. Got it. Okay. And now for the legs, one final thing right here. They are on sliders. They slide up at a little bit of an angle. Okay, we are getting there. He is almost there. Similar to the Studio Series version, we'd pretty much just have to take care of the legs and the top of the truck. So, arms and top of the truck. Wow, having trouble speaking today. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to flip the truck up. Just trying to get things a little bit out of the way here. Come on now. There we go. I want this all sitting like this. I'm going to bring it forward. There. I'll leave that there for now. I'm going to keep working on the back. The back of the cab, I should say. So, I'll flip up on this long piece. So I'm going to bend the arms at 90. They also have this. Out of the box, these were compressed already, but check them. They do need to be compressed for vehicle mode and extended for robot mode, so he has proper arm length. But go ahead. Now once you got that, I'm going to untab this. I'm going to bring it forward just to really get it out of the way. I'm going to fold this in on itself and then get it all in there. All right, so this is looking like this. Do the same thing over here. Get that out of the way. And I don't know if it's completely necessary to lift up on this. I do it. I feel like it should automatically do it, but yeah, I just do it manually to be safe. I don't trust it to do anything automatically. Go ahead and, like I said, compress the arm. There we go. Okay. And now, again, you notice I have to keep tilting the cab back. It's that 90-degree piece that I mentioned. It'll stay fine once it's all put together, but yeah, getting to this point, I do have to constantly adjust it. So at this point, I just want to rotate everything back. I'm using those double hinges, and I'm getting the arm in place. Like I said, it's pretty much like the Studio Series bot at this point for this particular step. Okay. Let me get the other side, then I'll come back and make sure that that's exactly where I want it. There's going to be a couple different things that I have to make sure line up here when I'm closing the arms and considering them done. So, let's see here. You can see here, there's the red piece. On top of this gray piece is a little circle. I'm trying to get that circle underneath this hinge. There we go. Good. So that is what I'm looking at right now. Again, make sure that back piece is all the way back. I'm going to come back here for this really skinny piece that I haven't really done much with. And it's got this tab right here. That's going to go into a slot on the arms. And the slot on the arms, it's on the outside, so it doesn't look like it really does much. It's probably just there to help locate things, but still. It's one of those things that needs to be done. So you do that, and then you can lift up on this piece, and there's that part. So now, coming over here. So, I'm going to unfold this, and then I'm going to unfold this. So at this point, I need to make sure that this comes down. I'm going to close up the chest, and it's got a very small clear post right here that goes into these two ports. And you see it's not lined up, and that's, need to make sure it is. There it is. The whole front bumper's on double joints, so don't forget that if it is needed. So get that pegged in. And those pegs hold pretty good so far, but they are still clear plastic pegging in, so just be careful with them. The arms, if it seems like they want to keep popping out, remember that bicep swivel is probably what's really tight and kind of working against you. So I'm squeezing the two fists together right now while trying to rotate up here. There we go. Do the same over here, make sure they're even. These pieces will go together. These pieces will come down. So here's kind of the point where I said like there's going to be a lot of things to work with. So first of all, we'll go ahead and bring this down. I'm going to bring this down. So what's going to happen here is this tab is going to go, let me turn it. So this tab is going to go into this slot. But this tab is going to go into this slot. But also this panel has to be on the outside. So you want to bring them both down at about the same time. So I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to lift up on this corner piece. And then this joint does slide. So I'm going to get it close. This slides down. And so once you're about at this rough point, you can go ahead and close things up a little bit. And you may not have everything exactly where it needs to be, but we can get it close so that we can at least close up the arms and get the front bumper secured, and that will help out with everything else. Nothing here should fight as far as like, you know, a tab being really, really tight or something, but it may just be a lot of massaging and moving pieces around to make sure things are in the right place. So, fiddly. You could say it might be a little fiddly. There we go. Maybe? I think. Yep, that's that. Make sure to slide this forward to close that gap. And there's that part done. We'll come back to the back. We're going to keep going. Do this side, pretty much the same thing we just did. So I'll slide that down, bring this down, fold out this triangle piece. Let's see here. All right. Get the front tab, get the door tab, and then close that. Slide it forward if possible. That's about all it wants to do for me. Get this in place. Which I'm having to kind of lift up on the front a little bit in order to get these in place. In fact, they are really wanting to fight at the moment. There we go. They wanted to hook in on the front of the wheels, so that looks like what they were doing. And then these two tabs, I showed you these two, but these two are going to go into spaces right there in the arm panels that we just now closed up. So you just go ahead and rotate it forward, close them in, push these back to get them to tab in to those other slots. Make sure both sides are good. There we go. Okay, that is about it for the front. We are in the home stretch. We have very, very little left to do, so make sure these are good. I did show you these, but they came undone. There we go. I'm going to bring these forward. They got very small tabs for slots. Get those on both sides. There we go. Now this. You have a tab here for the large empty slot that you can see in his robot mode. So go ahead and we'll rotate it all down, get it tabbed in, and this panel does need to fit underneath this one. Should be easy. It's gonna be weird. There's gonna be a gap, at least for me, and I cannot get rid of that gap. Yeah, that gap. Cannot get rid of it. Try and squeeze. Let's see if it'll work with me on camera, if this will be the one time. Yeah, it's better. Alright, unfold these. Lift up, rotate, and put back down. And then I'm going to just kind of be careful here. And let's do a quick check, but I believe that is it. I do wish I could do something about that windshield wiper. I think that is it. All that's left, just pull out his side view mirrors. And that is it. There is Brave Troop Toys 02 Commander, aka Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, in his truck mode. So, there's the back. There's the side. There's the underside. The front. And he does roll fairly well. So, there you go. And now, of course, we'll get a good look at him, and you can see, you know, a lot of the details we already saw, right? Of course, now you can see his front end. Looks pretty good. Transparent headlights. Wonky windshield wiper. Transparent windows. You've got the nice silver paint everywhere, red paint everywhere. You got all the details. Transparent for the windows, but you can see it's a whole panel put over an empty spot, so that looks weird, but it's there. You know, you got some decent truck world detailing on it. You know, the wheels, they look good, they roll, they are rubber. I do have the pelvis kind of drags on the ground a little bit, but on this surface, which is kind of a poster board, it works out pretty well. Of course, the bottom is still visible legs, but the way they did it, they're only visible from the bottom, you know, because this all looks different in robot mode. The wheels are at least rotated, so they're a little different. The feet are hidden. So, I mean, they did a pretty decent job of hiding robot stuff in vehicle mode. Not perfect, but I don't think anybody is going to get a perfect alt mode for the Bumblebee movie or Rise of the Beast movie Optimus Primes. It's not going to happen. So, and the back of the cab, it cleans up pretty well. I mean, yeah, you do have some gaps, but I mean, you can see they made a bit of an effort without adding too much useless stuff, right? So, overall, it looks pretty good. Let's take a look at some size comparisons. So first of all, here is the Rise of the Beast Bumblebee from Brave Troop Toys. So we can see them together. Of course, we already saw them in promo pics, but now you can see them properly together. He just shouldn't be as big as he is. But anyway, and then here is MPM3 Camaro, which honestly looks a much better scale compared to him. It's still not perfect, but that looks a lot more believable. So that's pretty good. And then here's my Weijing. Get up here. Okay, that smokestack is done. The Weijing Black Apple Optimus Prime. And here, let's do it this way. So there we go. He is definitely... The trucks are about the same height, but then his smokestacks, of course, make him taller. He is wider than he is. Black Apple is also longer, which does make sense because he's got a sleeper cab. So there's honestly a pretty decent scale between the two of them. But I mean, honestly, they do not look that bad together. And then finally, Alien Attack King of Cavaliers. This is the non-metallic release. And this one, I mean, the scale is definitely out the window. He should be about the same size as Black Apple, and he is definitely miniature. So, there's that. I mean, they still look decent together. They are about the same length. But then, you know, from the side, he's way too wide compared to him, and, you know, height-wise should be different, so. But still. And there is no weapon storage of any kind for this guy. So, surprise, surprise. There wasn't any for their B either. The trailer hitch does have these two slots. I don't have any Masterpiece-style trailers, so I'm not entirely sure, but I have seen promo pics of people putting like a G1-style trailer here. It's up to you if you want to try. Yeah, I don't have anything that I can test it with. So for all I know, those pictures are people just resting it in place just for the appearance. Alright, so final thoughts. Overall, this guy is pretty impressive. He is not perfect. He's got some flaws. Also, I forgot he does have a toe articulation. You can see it here. But, you know, overall, we got good accessories, right? Good variety and a good amount of them. The paintwork on him does look good. Pretty good articulation. Only minor issues I'd have would be certain things like the bicep swivel is incredibly tight. The hip joints were all incredibly tight for me. I had to modify them. But, you know, the articulation is there. The paint does look good, like I said. It so far seems like a good quality. I've not had any flaking yet. Who knows if it'll happen later on down the road. And, you know, the guy's priced right. I mean, he was, you know, 120, 130, something like that. Overall, that's not too bad. So, you know, I think he's a good scale as well. He's not perfect, but, you know, serviceable for my likes. And overall, the transformation's not terrible. It can get a little fiddly in some places, but, you know, it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I expected, considering the rumors that this is a Toy World design made by BMB. Not entirely sure if any of that's true, but, you know, overall, the transformation wasn't bad. Certainly a lot easier than the Alien Attack, King of Cavaliers Night Prime, that's for sure. But yeah, so overall, I'd give this guy maybe a 7 out of 10. You know, it would be a gentle recommend. If you have a hole in your collection for a Rise of the Beast Prime, this guy may very well fill that spot for you. There have been reports of breakages out of the box for some people, so it does seem like it's a little bit of a gamble, and nobody's sure if that's from shipping and handling or if that's actually manufacturing defects. I mean, you saw his shoulder comes right off on mine, and like I said, I did have to scrape off the paint of the hip joints to make them usable. So, yeah, overall he's not terrible. I'd gently recommend him. Like I said, this is my only Rise of the Beast Prime. I'm not going to get a Bumblebee movie Prime. None of those have done it for me. So, but that's all I got. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you next time.